joined by Thorp Volleyball coach Shelli Klapatauskus. Looking back, obviously, you guys start practice on Monday, but looking back to last year, kind of talk through where your team finished up and where you guys kind of sat for the year.
Last year was kind of a rebuilding year for us. We were playing with some young players in some new positions for us. I was pretty happy with how we were in tournament play. Conference, we are in a very tough conference, so we always kind of psych ourselves out going into our conference matches. But the tournaments that we were in, we finished second in a very tough tournament in Cadet, going up against a tough Unity team, which we really were right there with them at the end and could have won that tournament. We played really strong in an Aliva tournament. So going into the tournament itself at the end of the season, we were pretty confident with how we were looking going into that. We won our first regional game, and then drew Regis the second game and just knocked ourselves out. So I feel strong about where we are sitting for this season. So yeah, coming out of our tournament play last year, I'm hoping, going in with our starting crew that we have this year coming back from last season, it's looking pretty good for us that way.
And then, when you're at this point of the season, you're kind of looking at both, the players who are coming back and the players you need to replace that graduated. Starting with the players coming back, who are some of the players from last year's team that you're expecting big things from this year?
Okay, so our middle blocker, Emma Leach, she has put in a lot of work in the off season, so I'm super excited to see her in the middle. We have a couple really strong outside hitters that played club all off season. So Kiana Raybuck, Madison Gates are going to be strong for us on the outside. Also, a freshman that we had last year playing varsity is going to be stepping up for us on the right side this year, Maria Gates. So we have a very strong front row presence. We did graduate a couple seniors that were our back row, including our liberos. So defensively, we have a lot to pick up this season. I think that we have the puzzle pieces. I think it's just kind of putting those pieces together this season that's going to be important for us to try to put that together.
And you bring that up, who are some players you're looking at that maybe weren't big parts of last year's team, or fans might not recognize that you're looking to fit into those roles on that back line?
We have some young players. Not really sure if they're ready to quite step up yet. So not ready to name any of those names quite yet, but I have my eye on a few people. I'm not going to rule out that some of my starters might not be able to play the entire rotation because we might need them to step up in a new way that they weren't used to playing last year. So I'm looking at some of those options. We have some other players that were on our JV team, last year that are maybe possible, options to step up and fill those back row positions for us. So like I said, we have the puzzle pieces. It's just kind of like looking at how are we going to put that all together.
And then obviously it's early in your process, but what are kind of your expectations as you're coming into the season for the season as a whole?
I'm super excited. My players are super excited. They've been talking to me the last couple of weeks like, oh my gosh, I just can't wait for the season. And that just makes me super happy to hear. I think that we have a great group of girls. They get along really well. So I'm hoping that transfers to communication on the court. With not having a strong defensive system in place, I think that that's going to bode well to, okay, if we're out of system, our communication will be there, our teamwork will be there, and that'll be what we need to kind of get us through this year.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. We look forward to following you guys all season. Thorp Volleyball coach Shelli Klapatauskus.
Thanks.